What's going on, guys? We are back, themadlabmma.com, with another breakdown, but this is a very special breakdown. We needed the studio for this one. This is a boxing breakdown that we're going to do today that a lot of people, it's kind of sad in a way that there's two huge fights kind of piggybacking each other. It kind of takes the wholeness away from this one a little bit. Obviously, we got Spence Crawford coming up. That's taking precedence to everybody in the boxing world, even the casuals. And a lot of people, this fight's flying a little bit under the radar, not with the boxing purists. So, guys, don't be like, what do you mean it's flying under the radar? I get it. With us that are into boxing, that follow boxing feverishly, that have been engulfed in the game for a long time, we know exactly what this fight is. And in my opinion, this fight actually can be better than the Spence Crawford fight. This is a fantastic fight. I'm excited to break this one down. One of these gentlemen are one of my favorite fighters right now. This guy does just everything right in my eyes. I haven't found many flaws in his game. And the other guy coming over to his side of the pond is pretty tremendous in itself. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to break this one down. We're going to keep it kind of minimalistic. I'm going to show you their strengths. I'm going to show you their weaknesses. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my preview, my full preview, and my prediction. So this is the fight, guys. This is over in Japan. This is Inoue versus Fulton. This is a fight that, honestly, interesting that Fulton took this fight. You got to give him a lot of credit for taking this fight, and here's why. You know, both of these guys obviously are undefeated. We will go through their track records. We will go through everything shortly, but I'll give you a brief description of how this fight was made. He actually surpassed a fight, a rematch with Figs that that was very controversial. I mean, if you watch that fight, it was controversial. He ended up winning this decision. There were a lot of people that thought maybe he did lose that fight. Instead of taking this fight, he goes another level up. This guy just literally sets the bar for himself and jumps in head first and takes a fight with Inoue over in Japan, which is, I mean, you got to give the guy a ton of credit. This is a guy who does not back down from any challenges. He's a strong, tough kid from Philly. And you have to have that kind of belief system in yourself to take this fight and do it over there. So what I want to do now is I want to just go through each of these fighters for people that really aren't too well versed in who they are, what they've achieved, and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And then we will obviously give you the predictions. So obviously, you guys that are really into boxing, you guys know who both of these guys are. This is a tremendous fight. You're talking creme de la creme against creme de la creme. Both of these guys got extremely different styles, but there are certain elements of their game that are very, very aligned with each other. When you look at Inoue, this is a kid who, over from Japan, 24-0, 21 KOs, 3-division world champion. This kid does not do many things wrong. This is one of my favorite fighters right now. It's just when I watch this kid, I try to find flaws with him, and I just honestly can't. I know everybody has flaws. I know nobody's perfect, but this kid is as close to perfect for his size, his power, his speed, his boxing ability, his ring generalship. Everything just is so tight with this kid that it's really hard to find something wrong with him. And if there is something that you find wrong with him, please put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think his weaknesses are. Also, guys, please, I do these breakdowns. I take a lot of, long effort, long research, and a long time to do them. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. Tell me who you think you're going to win the fight. It only helps the channel out. If you guys want me to pump out more boxing content, more MMA content, and all the stuff I've been doing, it'd be really nice for you guys just to hit that subscribe button, like it, and let's get this page going a little bit. So it's just hard to really pinpoint things that this kid does wrong. I've been watching this kid for a very, very long time. He's a young kid, 30 years old, but next time Bush comes on the show, my partner, you can even ask him. I've been talking about this kid for a long time. There's just something about him that he does everything right, and it all ties into his past, which we get into. Like I said, 3-division world champion. The kid's got insane power. That's what he's known for. They call him the monster. So if you hear people talking about him and you hear people, giving this kid accolades, majority of the time it's about this kid's power, how powerful he is for his size. But that ties into so many different things. You need so many different mechanics in boxing to play in concert with each other to generate that power. Sure, there's people out there that has God-given gift of power. You know what I mean? But it comes from somewhere. It's got to be generated from somewhere. And this kid just has his entire body kinetics playing in concert with each other that to generate that power, if that makes any sense. His body work is tremendous. This kid understands how and when to tie upstairs to downstairs. He works on the body. He puts on a pace and puts on pressure that is not overwhelming. It's not a style where he is going to just press you and press you and press you. He's got calculated damage in mind. And that boils down to his equal balance in head to body. The body work that he does, the accuracy, the way he lands his punches, the way he places them, it's seamless to watch. His boxing ability is tremendous. I mean, he's not the slick boxer that you would see in a guy like Mayweather and a guy like Fulton, for example, where Fulton's a much more slick, sharp style boxer. But the way he creates angles, the way he uses his footwork, the way everything is so tight, the way he doesn't waste any energy, like his boxing ability is absolutely incredible. Like I said just prior, no wasted movements. This kid doesn't waste any movements. Everything is kind of tight. Everything means something. Every punch that he throws has a rhyme and reason behind it. He's not doing it in chaos. He's not trying to bring you into a firefight. Everything that he does ties into a rhyme and reason why he's doing it. He's got no wasted movements. He doesn't load up on punches. And if you watch film on him, you will see that. Cardio, the kid's conditioning is tremendous. And all of this boils down to his training methods. This is a kid that when he was younger, his father pretty much took him under his belt, gave him that old school style training methods. I mean, old school. I'm talking the old running stairs, pulling trucks. Like, this kid really does everything from a simplistic manner. And a lot of people look at technology, and sure, technology is very, very good in certain aspects of life. You know, we got computers, we got cell phones, we got so many things. We got the technology to shoot these videos and put them on YouTube and stuff like that. But when it comes to bare bones, when it comes to fundamentals, when it comes to foundation, there's nothing better than the old school. And this kid had a training from very, very young, that old school style training method, almost like you would see in the movie Rocky IV, when he goes to Russia and he stays in that cabin in the woods, in the middle of nowhere with the snow and everything, and he's running and he's doing pull-ups. And that's kind of the way his father trained him. His father kind of dialed him in with a real rugged foundation to not only sharpen up his boxing skills, to overall make him tougher, to kind of weather him, to make him tougher, to make him, be able to face that. Everything his father did, and it ties into his boxing. His boxing and his punches, everything has a rhyme and reason behind it. His father's training methods, everything he did had a rhyme and reason behind it. That's all playing in concert with each other right now. The kid is extremely durable. There were some, shades going around saying that this kid's really never faced a ton of adversity yet. We haven't really seen him buckled up. We haven't seen him have to fight out of terrible situations, because when he does go in there, this kid usually dominates you. He breaks you down, he breaks your will, and he takes your soul. But he did have a fight with Nonito Donaire that was the fight of the year. And if you guys watched that fight, what a fight it was. I mean, credit to Nonito Donaire for the performance that he put on, that the age that he put it on. The dude is an absolute legend. But when he fought this fight, if you look at the actual elements of the fight and you break it down afterwards, after all the information came out, Inoue broke his orbital bone in the second round in that fight, and he continued to push on and put on a pace and put on a war like that. Usually you guys get an injury, you guys break a hand, you guys get an eye injury, like a broken orbital or something. You kind of do things to minimize the damage further. This kid just kept jumping into the fire and gave us a fight of the year, 10 more rounds with a broken orbital. That's kind of hard to believe. I mean, this kid really, not only is he a good boxer, not only does he have a shitload of power, but this kid is durable, and this kid will come to fight, and he will get into a foxhole with you if need be. So the durability is there, so he proved himself there. Guys, what's going on? Mike from the MadLabMMA.com, bringing you full breakdowns on boxing, MMA, and everything else we can actually talk about. Do me a favor. It's free. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Comment on the videos and like them. It's easy. I mean, it's easy. I mean, I'm not asking you for a dime. For Christ's sake. Now, when you look across the cage, when you look across the ring, you got Stephen Fulton. This is a guy, 21-0, 8 KOs. WBC Super Bantamweight champion, WBO Super Bantamweight champ, ranked #1 junior featherweight champ by Ring Magazine and ESPN. This is a guy's whose style where when you look at this, his bread and butter in this fight will not be sitting in the pocket and slugging with Inoue. It will not work. It will not last, and it will be the death of him, giving him his first loss. This guy has to use his brains, which he has in the ring. He's a very good boxer. He's very good with understanding, range and space. He works behind a really good jab, and he's got very, very slick and sharp movement. This is the guy who goes left, he's not really a north and south guy. This is a guy who moves laterally very, very well, works behind a really, really good jab, and he has very good ring intelligence in there. You got to give him a lot of credit in this fight for doing what he's doing. I mean, he's putting his belts on the line. Inoue's coming up to his division. He doesn't want a tune-up fight. He wants to go right after Fulton. Fulton took the fight, and Fulton took the fight in Japan. You got to give this kid a lot of credit. There takes a certain amount of confidence and a certain amount of it's a certain person that takes this fight. Not every day in boxing are you seeing guys take fights with the danger zone that Fulton's taken. We've seen guys cherry pick fights. We've seen guys pick and choose who they want to fight. I'm not going to say names. You guys, obviously, if you guys watch boxing, this kid literally wants to fight the best. This kid wants to take on challenges. He foregone his rematch to take this fight. And like I said, he's the one who should be calling the shots here. He's the champ. He's the one who should be saying, we're going to fight here. No, I don't want to fight. He's going to Japan. He's bringing his belts, and he's going to Japan. You got to give this guy a ton of credit. The one thing that he does that can keep him safe in fights where he does fight people who are more powerful than him is he burrows on the inside very well. That's one thing that he does do if you really watch him. He's not a guy who just kind of goes in and starts slugging. He burrows himself on the inside. He throws his combinations together. He gets in and he gets out. But when he burrows on the inside, he makes it very difficult for you to really push off and open up and catch him with something. So that's something that he does really, really well. Like I said just before, he takes on big challenges. This guy has an overall confidence about himself that he doesn't think anybody in his weight area can beat him. So, give him credit there. He's got that tough Philly mindset. But when you ultimately look at this fight, they are drastically different in certain aspects, but they are the same. They both are good boxers. I give Fulton the speed advantage here. I think that if Fulton wants to win this fight, he needs to keep this fight moving. He needs to keep Inoue guessing. He needs to keep Inoue kind of following him around, but not giving him the chance to kind of plant. He doesn't want to bite down on the mouth shield too many times with Inoue, because if he does, he's going to get caught. You got to remember, Inoue is a guy who literally knocked out, I think, 6 or 7 guys consecutively in a row that have never been finished. You don't hear that too often. You hear, all right, the guy goes in, he fights somebody, and he knocks 1 or 2 guys out. He fought 6 or 7, I think it's 6 guys in a row that have never been finished, and he finished them. So I'm not looking at Fulton's record and saying, well, he's never been finished, because if anybody's going to finish him, it's going to be Inoue. He needs to keep this fight in space. He needs to make sure his conditioning is on cue. He can't come into this fight and fade down the stretch. He needs to keep a steady state for 12 rounds, and he needs just to continue to work behind the jab, work behind his feet, be slick, confuse him, and hope that Inoue gets to a point in Japan where he feels like he has to prove something, where he feels like he has to knock you out. He's got to come after you. With that may come sloppiness. Now, the problem is Inoue's not a guy to get sloppy. He's not a guy to really lose his cool. You know what I mean? He's not going to put on that kind of pace and pressure and force things. He's never had. But you never know. There can be a situation where that one guy across the ring gives you that issue where, man, I just can't pin him down. Like I can't pin him down for long enough to land clean enough. Inoue might start chasing him. That's what Fulton wants. Fulton wants to take Inoue out of his mechanics and kind of make him force, make him make mistakes, make him maybe load up a little bit. That is where Fulton will have an edge, and that is where his blueprint lies as far as where can he win this fight. That's exactly how he can win this fight. He has to keep the fight moving. He can't stay in one place. If he's going to bite down on the mouth shield, he's got to burrow inside, get in and get out, and continue moving. East, west, just continuously move laterally and not give Inoue time to really plant his feet, throw, and land. Inoue, on the flip side, what he wants to do is he just wants to do, everything he does. It's hard to say Inoue's game. There's anything in Inoue's game that he's at a fault here, at a lapse. The only thing he doesn't want to do is he doesn't want to hunt too much. He wants to keep his cool. He does not want to say, well, I'm in Japan here. I got to knock him out for the fans. I got to have a highlight reel. He just has to do something called stay the course. The kid has to stay the course. His conditioning is what is going to allow him to win this fight, because he carries his power way into the fight. From round 1 to round 12, this kid has demonstrative power. He wants to work the body. If he wants to slow Fulton down, he's going to have to little by little work Fulton's body, hit him with shots to slow him down to the body. He's got to stop worrying about head hunting so much with Fulton. He's going to have to kind of keep him in place using body work, which he does very, very well. Down the stretch, I think in the beginning, I think Fulton's going to be extremely competitive. I think he may confuse Inoue a little bit, to be honest with you. I think his speed might be a little bit something where, Inoue's going to really have to calculate. He's going to have to make some major adjustments, maybe round 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Fulton's going to look very, very good. He might even win a few rounds. But I think down the stretch, what's going to happen is he's going to start folding. I think the constant pressure and the constant fundamentally, sound pace, it's not overbearing, it's not underbearing. It's just like a constant pace where this kid is going to push Fulton to a point where he can't slow down a little bit. And I think he's going to start to slow down. And I think people don't understand how strong and how powerful Inoue is until they get hit by him. So like I said, those 6 guys that have never gotten knocked out before, I'm sure they went into the ring saying, listen, if I lose this fight, I'm probably not going to get knocked out. 1 got knocked out, 2 got knocked out, 3 got knocked out, 4 got knocked out, 5 got knocked out, 6 got knocked out in a row. That's not a coincidence. A coincidence is knocking somebody out that hasn't been knocked out before, then you don't do it again. When you knock 6 guys in a row that have never been finished, that's not a coincidence. That's proper punch placement. That's angle manipulations. That's just creating the scenarios that you need to finish the fight because you see things a little bit differently. I think that's what's going to happen here. I think it's going to be a very good fight. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. But I think in the later rounds, he's going to start slowing down, Fulton is. And I think Inoue's going to capitalize on something. But whether it's a very hard, damaging liver shot or he's just a little bit too much for him in the overall prowess of his power. And I think he ends up beating Fulton, giving him his first dose. So that's my prediction. That's my preview. If you guys want the actual wagers, the props that I'm going to be putting on this fight, you can go to themadlabmma.com. You can check us out there. We do full breakdowns, full DFS, full wagers, private podcast, private live stream, Discord. We're the only combat sports company doing MMA that covers boxing feverishly. There's no other outlet out there that does it. And if not, the only thing I do ask you to do, it's completely free, is 2 things. 1, at least head over to the site, themadlabmma.com, join our mailing list. And also the other free thing is just subscribe to the channel, like, comment below, and definitely hit the notification bell because we are going to do Spence and Crawford coming up next. So I'll talk to you soon.